Oh, hello. I'm Rantasmo. You know, over the years, we've spent a lot of time talking about gay stuff. But since Halloween is all about putting on masks, I thought that this year I'd try talking about something that's not gay at all. Let's talk about what I think is one of the most underrated horror movies of the last decade, The Hole. It was directed by Joe Dante, who also directed Gremlins and Small Soldiers, and it's a bit of a throwback to those PG-13 horror movies that you don't really see anymore. So I went out and bought the first copy of The Hole that I could find. I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it. So let's get ready for a super spooky Halloween treat as we review The Hole.
I turn you on, don't I?
Oh god. I picked the wrong hole. So this is my bad. As it turns out, there are a few different movies named The Hole. The 2009 version is the horror movie directed by Joe Dante that you should actually go watch. The 2003 version of The Hole is a gay porn parody of The Ring. Yup. Everything you really need to know about the plot of this version of The Hole can be summed up in this scene.
In 7 days you will be gay.
So, believe it or not, this movie does actually have some actual relevance behind it. It was directed by Wash West, also known as Wash Westmoreland, who would go on to direct some actual legit fare in the gay indie film scene, like Quinceanera and The Fluffer, the latter of which was a drama inspired by his own experience in the gay adult film industry. The Hole is also an exemplar of the early 2000s in general, mainly because it features the line of dialogue, "Anal sex is the bomb," spoken by a character with one of these hairstyles. So let's recap what little plot this movie actually has, through the use of stick figures and replacing every scene I can't show you with a scene of the characters acting like responsible and wholesome members of mainstream society. It begins with two characters who I don't think have names, so let's call them Josiah and Muffin. Josiah and Muffin are two straight bros doing straight bro things, like watching football and wearing basketball jerseys. Josiah describes the legend of a cursed videotape that turns the person who watches it gay 7 days later. Muffin exclaims that he watched that very same tape exactly 1 week ago. And the two of them proceed to perform an educational skit about the dangers of peer pressure, followed by an acoustic guitar solo. That second part actually happens.
My friends were watching Super Bowl when I was watching Queer as Folk.
The song is interrupted by a reporter investigating the cursed videotape, who I'm going to call Naomi Watts. Naomi Watts learns that Muffin watched the tape in a nearby cabin with his two friends. He goes to the cabin, finds the tape, watches it, gets a phone call, you know the rest. Naomi goes to investigate the other two friends, who I'll call Cedric and Boniva. Boniva tells the story about how a week after watching the tape, he and Cedric enjoyed some healthy potassium-rich bananas. I'm not kidding. They actually do that. Naomi Watts goes back to his house where he fantasizes about attractive men and does his taxes. Alone. Then he and Muffin study the tape and discover that the clues seem to be pointing in the direction of this weird dome thing in Roswell, New Mexico. So they go to Roswell, where they definitely don't find a weird, eyes wide shut sex cult. Instead, they find a book club. Since the book club is obviously a dead end, Naomi Watts and Muffin go back to the cabin where the tape was first discovered, hoping to find some way to end the gay curse. But they don't. Instead, they have a fire drill. A very long, naked fire drill. And that's it. That's The Hole. Truly a tour de force of pornographic parody. So if you'll excuse me, I have to go to my book club. It's a real book club with books.